Hi, my name's Steve Martilli. In this video, I'm going to answer the question from my point of view, is money the root of all evil? So in the video, I'm going to talk about the current monetary system that we have, the new quantum financial system that we are going to evolve and move into over the next few years. And then I'm going to answer the question, is money the root of all evil? Okay? Because this is a saying that you hear people say, and for some people, they don't believe it. But for other people, there's a community of people that believe that in this day and time, we should not have to use money to exchange services. We should be able to barter or do some other system. And it's the money that's the problem that's causing all the problems we have in the world today. Okay? It's the money that's the problem. Okay? And I'm here to tell you that it's not the money that's the problem. It's the system that the money is flown through. And I'll give you an example. So YouTube is a great platform. It's a great system. The platform is probably going to be around for another 10 years, would be my guess. If I had to guess, it's going to be around for 10 years. Now, the way that the system is run on this platform with the censorship, not so cool, because it eliminates information that people could be getting. Okay? So the platform itself is solid. It's that the way that they run it, the system that they run it is, we'll say, flawed to some degree, okay, because of the censorship. So the same thing goes with the money system. There's flaws in the system. It doesn't mean money as a platform is going away. It just means that the system is going to change. And it's actually going to change in a good way. And I'll talk a little bit about that in this video, but I really want to get to the question of this money root of all evil thing, because I want to put this myth away, put it to bed, and to really show you that it's not the actual money the problem, it's the system, okay? So let me just talk a little bit about our current money fiat system. So we have a fiat system. It's different currencies around the world. It's just paper money. It's not backed by anything. And it basically is given deemed value because the government said it was, and everyone believes that. That's really what it comes down to. There's no intrinsic value to the paper that we get in exchange. Even digital currency, it's the same thing. Bitcoin's the same thing. There's no intrinsic value. Yes, there is a utility with Bitcoin. There's a utility. It's a tool, and it has specific functions that create value. But as a currency, it has no intrinsic value. Okay, and the fiat system that we have today, all around the world, doesn't matter what country in, is the same thing, and it works the same. Central banks around the world work all the same way. So you have a fiat system that basically taxes you every year when their inflation goes up. And now because inflation's going up, people are talking about it more. That's an actual tax. If you want to think of it as a way that the government or the people that run the government steal money from you, it's through the fiat system because they tax you with inflation. So goods and prices, you say, well, no, it just costs more for stuff to be made and for them to make stuff. It's not that it costs more. It's that the dollar value that you're using to buy your goods is worth less. And because it's worth less, you have to pay more for the same goods and services. That's what inflation is. So you get taxed on it. That's what the fiat system is. Number two, it's corrupt. In other words, there's no real accountability. There are a few like agencies that run but they're all shaking hands behind closed doors, and it's very corrupt. Okay? Number three, the way that our current system works is you borrow money on interest, and then you pay back that interest. If it's a credit card, it's 20%. If it's a house, it could be anywhere 3, 4, 5% for a mortgage, but you got to pay that back. But here's the crazy thing is that this entire system is designed to make the 0.1% rich and to make you and I poor, and to keep the rest of us working to pay off that debt. So it's not a freedom system. It's not a prosperous system. The system is designed to keep us poor. So, and let me give you an example. When you go to the bank and you get a loan, doesn't matter what kind of loan it is, and it doesn't actually matter what country it is because they do the same thing in every country. So I'll talk about US and Canada specific. You go in and you get a loan. I've gotten loans in both countries. What happens is they give you an agreement. Sometimes it's electronic, sometimes it's not. If you do it the paper way where you go into the bank, what happens is you go into the bank, they give you an agreement, say this is the loan interest, you're going to pay. But when you leave the bank, what they do is they turn over the document, they stamp it, and as soon as they stamp it and sign it without your admission, in other words, you didn't know that they were doing this, they are actually taking your labor, your future labor, as collateral for the loan. It's not that you're getting a loan from the bank, it's that they're taking a loan on your labor. And I'm going to share some resources in my next video on if you want to learn more about this. But that in itself, if you look at any contract law, it doesn't matter if it's Canada, US, actually contract law is universal. So, and because I've worked in construction engineering for a very long time, when you issue a contract, if one of the parties is not privy to the conditions of the contract is null and void because everyone has to be aware of what they're signing. So when you go to the bank the old way and you sign the document in the bank for a mortgage or whatever it is, and then you leave the bank, you sign the documents, you leave the bank, and then they turn over that letter, okay, or that full set of documents, they stamp the back, that stamp, and they sign it, are basically saying that you are the collateral for the loan, not the bank. And if you were to go and say, okay, if the bank's providing the collateral, show me where you're getting the collateral. They won't be able to provide it to you, at least from the resources I've seen. So if you're providing the collateral, it means you're loaning money to the bank that they're then giving back to you, and you didn't know that, which is unlawful, which makes the contract null and void. So I'm going to talk more about that in my next video. But the point is that the fiat system, the way it's set up, is most people believe you go in, you borrow money from the bank, they provide the collateral, which they don't. Okay, if you look on their balance sheet, they won't have the collateral. You're the collateral, which is crazy. So they want to keep you working, and it's totally intent to make the 0.1% rich. Okay, get a house, buy a car, do this, keep working, working. We don't want you to be rich and to have choices. Okay. Now, let me talk about the quantum financial system. If you haven't heard anything about this, it's a digital blockchain, okay? It's a no tax, no inflation type of currency. So that means if you spend, let's say, I don't know, $10,000 today, US dollars, for a car, that means, if there's no inflation, that means 30 years from now, that car and the money you paid for it will be, like a brand new car will be, again, if it's, equal type of vehicle in all the model and everything, engine size and everything, $10,000 is what you're going to pay 30 years from now. That's not the way it works now. 30 years ago, you would pay $3,000 for $5,000 for a brand new car, right? Like, let's say sometime in early 90s, late 80s, okay? Maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a brand new car. Today, $30,000, $25,000 for a brand new car, right? Why is that? Because the money gets inflated. It's worth less, and your paycheck is worth less, and people feel it. So the point is that when we have a quantum financial system, every dollar is going to be backed by gold or some precious metal, and when that happens, now you can't start printing money and manipulating it and doing corrupt things, which is what the government does now to add money to the money supply. Okay, so no tax in terms of inflation, so you keep the value of the dollar long term. That's the quantum financial system. It's a digital blockchain. Okay, so it'll be something that we'll use on a smartphone type device. The accountability to this system is to the military, so it's not like a corrupt government's running this system. It's going to be the military, and it's going to be military worldwide. Okay, now you might be wondering where I'm getting all my information. I will share some links down below so you can check this out for yourself and do your own research. But what this does, as soon as you back the dollar by gold, every dollar by gold, let's say 40% of every dollar is backed by gold, now you have consistency, you can't have manipulation, you only have so much money supply, and the wealth now gets transferred to the people, which is what the old system never wanted, because they only wanted the 0.1% to be rich. Now it's getting transferred to the people, which means your dollar and what you're getting as a paycheck is worth more, which means you can buy more with it. And there's a lot of other implications, but that's just one. What this does is it creates prosperity worldwide, so no one is left behind. Literally no one is left behind, okay? Everyone's going to get taken care of, okay? And I'm simplifying it a bit, but I just want to get back to this question. See, right now, the perception around money is that there's not enough money for everyone, which is total hogwash, okay? There is enough money for everyone, okay? There's enough for everyone. They've just been stealing it from us, okay? And because there's more than enough, and the old system is trying to keep people poor because the control has been in the wrong hands and the system has been corrupt, that's why people believe that money is the root of all evil. It's not. It's just a tool, just like YouTube, and whoever controls the tool dictates the rules, and that is what changes it. And that dictatorship, or like the people who are controlling the system, is changing, and that's why we're going to a quantum financial system, which you hear about more of the next 1 or 2 to 3 years. And when that happens, you'll realize that money is just a tool and that anyone can get access to it, and we all will be able to because of what I just shared in this video, okay? So is money the root of all evil? No. The root of all evil is who controls the money, okay? The people that control the money right now and the fiat money system is the root of all evil, not the money itself. And because that's changing, our definition of what we believe money to be is also going to change. It's going to be a very exciting time. It is an exciting time, and I'm excited because now nobody gets left behind, okay? If you like this video, great. If you want to check out some of the things that I'm referring to in the video, I'm going to share 3 links down below to various videos. I'm going to go into this in more depth in my next video, which I talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, or in this case, the Guardians of Earth 2.0, and also some good news for a change, okay? Awesome. Love you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you really like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And other than that, I've got a book coming out early next year called The 7-Day Manifestation Experiment, How You Create Your World. If you want to get on the waiting list for that and get my quantum manifestation training video series where I give you 1 video every week, there's a link down below. You can opt in and sign up to be on the waiting list and get that free training. Thanks for watching. My name's Steve, and we'll talk to you next time.